yeah, no big deal that he got shot in the ear. Yeah, missed his and could have killed him if it went an inch the other way. No big deal. It's like getting like having a cold. Same thing. You sound ridiculous.
Okay,
you sound like a lunatic.
In a wild turn of events, both Cenk Uygur and Ana Kasparian tore into Joy Reid for her ridiculous conspiracy-brained take on the Trump assassination attempt. And I don't know what timeline we are living in, but Cenk Uygur actually said in this segment that Joy Reid has Trump derangement syndrome, which really does say a lot. I mean, it tells you how far gone Joy Reid must be that even other people on the left are saying, no, that's a little bit ridiculous. But we are going to react to this shocking segment here today. So folks, if you enjoy the content, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you are new so I can keep bringing you videos like this. But let's just get right into this. You got to take a listen, folks. Did not expect this, maybe from Ana Kasparian, but not expecting even Cenk to say the things he said. So check it out.
These two men are both elderly. Donald Trump is an elderly man who, for whatever reason, was given 9 seconds to take a iconic photo op during an active shooter situation. Weird situation. We'll figure that out one day. But his survival of that and bouncing right back and going right to his convention is being conveyed in the media world as a sign of strength. This current president of the United States is 81 years old and has COVID. Should he be fine in a couple of days? Doesn't that convey exactly the same thing?
No. No, it doesn't.
Okay. I mean, are you serious, Joy? Are you serious? I mean, these MSNBC hosts look totally unhinged. Several of them, including Joy Reid, were questioning if the event was staged in a sense. They're like, oh, it's a really weird coincidence. What's going on? And look at what she said. For 9 seconds was allowed to do a photo. He's the president of the United States. He just got shot. And
former president of the United States.
Yeah, I got you. But the former presidents are still called president.
Right.
And so you're begrudging him putting up his fist after he got shot. First of all, that's just nuts. Second of all, any of these things like, oh, isn't it curious how they stage things? No, you're egging on people on your side to think crazy things.
Conspiracy theory.
Yeah, Michael Steele did the same thing, again, on MSNBC. They're starting to really sound like the MAGA version, on the Democratic side, for sure. And then what kind of lunatic thing is it to say, oh, you got COVID, you got shot, it's the same thing? No, it's not. I had COVID a couple of weeks ago. It was a normal cold. So COVID now is, especially if you're, I mean, I get it. He's 81 and it's a little bit more of a risk. And God knows what happened. I hope nothing happens to President Biden. And something could happen. But getting a cold is not the same thing as getting shot in the head.
So you can brush this off as common sense. I mean, obviously what Joy Reid said in that segment was insane, and we'll react to another one where she continues to sort of imply that she believes the Trump assassination was staged, which to this day makes no sense. But I do want to give Cenk and Ana and all of TYT just a little bit of credit here, because the way they have handled the Trump assassination thing has been a pure class act, right? And I know maybe you shouldn't give that credit, but you look at what a lot of other people on the left, look at Destiny, have said about it. It is insane, right? But they have been totally on the point of like, look, we disagree with the politics and I disagree with TYT's politics, but assassination is bad. It was not staged. We hope he's okay. And Cenk went so far as to say that when Trump raised his fist, it was a cool moment, which is pretty fair. Right? So you hear them just tearing into Joy Reid, and we're just getting started, folks. We're just getting started.
You're embarrassing yourself by saying ridiculous things like this. And unfortunately, Ana, they've kind of trained their audience to want this. They want some sort of criticism of Donald Trump under any and all circumstances. But guys, there's a billion things to criticize him on policy and the other crazy stuff he does. And when you criticize him on those things, you lose credibility when you also criticize him for how he got shot. Oh, yeah, no big deal that he got shot in the ear. Yeah, missed his and could have killed him if it went an inch the other way. No big deal. It's like getting having a cold. Same thing. You sound ridiculous.
Okay.
You sound like a lunatic.
You just touched on something that I've been wanting to articulate on the show for some time now. Now's a perfect time to say it. Guys, I don't want Democrats to turn into everything they hate about their political opponents. And I feel like that's what's happening.
That's a great point.
Right? Like, I don't want to be that. I want to be better than that, right? Like, I don't want to dabble in conspiracies. I don't want to dehumanize people on the other side. I don't want to brush off an assassination attempt. Can you guys imagine if someone tried to kill you? You knew that there were people out there who literally wanted to kill you, and one person got real close. That is a traumatic experience. No one should have to deal with that. In a democracy, no one should have to deal with that.
Right, but according to Joy Reid, that's the same as catching a cold. That's just literally what she said. So
we are supposed to be better than this. We're not supposed to do what Joy Reid did in that segment, and we're not supposed to make light of what happened last weekend at that Trump rally. Okay, with that said, I do want to actually give Van Jones credit, and I want to juxtapose what you heard from Joy Reid to what Van Jones actually had to say. Let's take a look.
A bullet couldn't stop Trump. A virus just stopped Biden. You've got the nominees of this party getting their butts kissed. Biden's getting his butt kicked by his own party. The Democrats are coming apart. The Republicans are coming together.
I really want to thank Van Jones for saying that, because it's a sobering statement to make. I'm sure he's gotten some backlash from Democrats for saying it, but it is true. And we have to look at the situation clearly, and we need to improve where there's need for improvement. And our behavior should not be modeled after everything we hate on the right. So with that said, Joy Reid has been under some scrutiny for previous comments that she's made regarding Saturday's assassination attempt. She, in fact, posted a video on her Instagram page this week questioning the extent of Trump's injury and what happened that day. Let's take a look.
We still don't know for sure whether Donald Trump was hit by a bullet, whether he was hit by glass fragments, whether he was hit by shrapnel. We don't have those details. We actually have no details from his physician, even though this man is still a Secret Service protected, and presidential candidate. We know almost nothing. We don't know why for 9 full seconds Donald Trump was allowed to stand back up during an active shooter situation, even though they, at that point, had said the shooter was down. How would they have known if there were more shooters or not? Nobody knew. That there could have been 5 shooters for all they knew. Yet they allowed him to stand up in the middle of that, crisis and pose for a photo and fist pump the air so he could get the iconic photo. What is the actual injury to Donald Trump's ear that's under that bandage? Shouldn't we know that by now?
Okay, so first of all, on that take, why are these people so obsessed with did Trump get hit by a bullet or a shrapnel, which, by the way, the FBI has now confirmed it was a bullet. But notice they're more obsessed with that, and they're more obsessed with what was Trump's injury than the actual relevant questions of how did this happen? What was the security failure by Secret Service? Because they don't care, right? They're not willing to ask the actual questions around the assassination attempt that are relevant. And Ana and Cenk are actually right about this. She's just trying to insinuate essentially that the whole thing was staged. Okay, that's what they're doing. And it's reckless. It's irresponsible. If Fox News can get sued $1 billion, gazillion, $1,000 million for what they said about voter fraud in 2020, you have to wonder whether or not, this type of coverage is necessarily responsible. But it is what it is. Let's listen to TYT's response to that.
I'm curious what you thought about that.
No, she's totally in la la land. I mean, that is super heavily implying that the shooting was staged. Why did they let him stand back up? Why did they give him 9 seconds to set up that photo up that she said, I don't know, she might even, I don't remember if she used the word stage, but almost everything she said was super heavily implying that it was staged.
Yes, exactly.
And like conspiratorial things like, did it really hit his ear? But guys, one more thing, hold on, Anna, sorry.
Yeah.
The stuff about the teleprompter shattering and the glass hitting him, if you said that in the first couple of hours, which I did, that's because all those reports were flying around and we were trying to figure out what happened and why the injury was so light.
Right.
Totally understandable. You were saying that 4 or 5 days after the shooting. Everybody knows the teleprompter didn't break. It's on tape. Everybody knows it wasn't glass. Why are you still saying that?
I know.
It's such a weird conspiracy theory. Like, I'm sorry, man, but it's embarrassing. And look, when Republicans used to say Trump derangement syndrome, I was like, there's no such thing. They're just making that up. Anyone who criticizes Trump, they say, oh, you got Trump derangement syndrome. But apparently there is Trump derangement syndrome.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, Cenk Uygur, wow. A shocking admission, but it is pretty true. It is pretty true.
And it doesn't affect most of Trump's critics at all, right? But it apparently infected almost all the MSNBC hosts. What she was saying there sounded like QAnon kind of crazy talk.
Yeah, I agree. And look, the final thing I'll say is, look, even if you take Trump out of it, okay, for the people who are alleging that, oh, this was all staged, a person is dead, okay, a Trump rally goer, a father of 2 daughters, dead. He was shot and killed as he was like shielding his family from the shooter. And 2 other individuals were in critical condition. I think their condition has improved slightly, but they're still in the hospital and it's still serious.
Right. Yeah, it's just last thing, because I want you to think about how crazy these conspiracy theories are. So what do you think happened? They fired real bullets that killed Corey, the firefighter who was killed while shielding his family. They hit a couple of other people, but they meant to do all that. They meant to murder that poor guy. But then Trump ducks down, and what do you do? Like in the old wrestling days, Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream, would roll under the wrestling ring and would cut his own forehead with a razor, so it looked like when he got hit by the chair that it was all bloody and stuff. Do you think Trump was carrying it around? No, just in case there's an assassination attempt. Oh, perfect. There's one now. Here, I'll cut my ear. I mean, what is this? Come on, who's this crazy? No, obviously the bullet grazed his ear. What? She was like, what do you think it was? We don't know if it was a bullet. There's a bullet flying by him that the New York Times photographer captured on tape.
Right, and then what even is the insinuation? He has survived an assassination attempt. It was objectively a close call, whatever way. Although, again, the FBI has now confirmed, yes, it was the bullet. So it really was that close. But all they're trying to do is downplay it. They're trying to just make it seem like it's not that big a deal. And you hear Joy Reid saying it's no different than when Biden caught COVID in 2024. Just ridiculous. Just totally ridiculous.
What else do you need? No, that's totally Trump derangement syndrome. There's nothing. If Trump was riddled with 28 bullets there and died, she'd say like, oh, pretty convenient. Dies like a martyr and a hero and then helps J.D. Vance become president. I wonder if this was staged. Okay, if you're going to be a lunatic, I guess you got a good shot at being an MSNBC host.
So Trump's son, Eric, by the way, said that the ear injury from the shooting, not serious, and he didn't even need stitches. So for Joy Reid, if you're wondering, how serious the injury was, there you have it. His own son said he didn't need stitches.
Yeah, I don't know.
And by the way, on that front, we'll close here, but on that front, we never got a clear or transparent answer as to Joe Biden's medical condition. So let's not pretend like there's some type of cover up. Why won't Trump release it? Why does he have to? The point is not his injury. The point is there was an assassination attempt against him. But again, if you're Joy Reid, you really know you've lost the plot when even Cenk Uygur is out there saying you're an idiot, you're ridiculous. And I will once again say props to TYT for calling this stuff out, because I'm sure a lot of their audience is kind of on board with the conspiracy. Oh, it was staged, or better, even worse, they were rooting for it, whatever it is. But they're just being honest here. And yes, he's right. All of the conspiracy theories around the Trump shooting are completely ridiculous. It was so staged that the bullet flew literally an inch away from killing him. Right? I don't know what, when you're MSNBC and when you're, in the words of Cenk Uygur, Trump deranged, I guess that's what happens, right? So with that said, folks, let me know your thoughts on this in the comment section down below. Be sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe before you go. And until next time, God bless and peace.